Right.
Hey y'all, hey, this is the High Priestess of Love and
April.
the High Priestess of Joy,
Oh, I forgot. AKA April.
aka April. Okay. um, Today we're gonna have a conversation, and the conversation is going to be mostly geared towards
Relationships. Polygamy,
yes,
polyamory,
yes.
monogamy,
Oh my
open
gosh,
relationships,
the dynamics.
the
Okay.
dynamics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that because that's probably gonna be the title of this relationship dynamics. Okay. So April, can you read the definitions of polyamory and
Okay.
polygamy?
Well, I'll just tell you.
Okay,
So, polygamy is when a person has more than one spouse.
mm,
Polyamory is when you have more than one lover or sexual partner.
mm,
That is the difference. And I think a
man,
lot of times people, specifically men, want to have um, polyamorous relationships
mm.
because they really ain't trying to be responsible for a whole bunch of women if you marry them. I think they just kind of
Mm.
want to, copulate with them.
Yes, yes, yes. And some people, honey, be trying to do both. You trying to be have several wives, and first of all, you can't afford them. But we gonna talk about that in a second. Hopefully, I remember to come back to that. But and then you're trying to still have your side chicks. See, I said multiple
Mm.
side chicks, or also side dudes. You see what I'm saying? Let's say what it is, cause spirit be talking. Okay.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that we are designed, I guess, biologically to be in monogamous relationships? Or do you think that that's a social construct?
I definitely think that being in a monogamous relationship is a social construct.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes it is based off of your upbringing, or it can be based off of like religious beliefs.
Yeah.
I think if that's what a person desires and it does not align with like your religious beliefs, then maybe you should rethink those religious beliefs. You see what I'm saying? If it keeps you in a box that
Mm.
you want to break free from. You see what I'm saying? I believe,
Yeah.
let me just say this. I've said it before with other conversations that I had with people, that I believe we live pretty much everything on a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Religion is on a spectrum. Relationships on a spectrum, right? So when you talk about religion being on a spectrum, like there's these boxes that are on a spectrum, right? So you could just be on, or not even just religion, spirituality. Let's call the
Mm-hmm.
spectrum spirituality. And there's different religions on the spectrum. Either you're in that box or you're on the perimeter of the box, because there's certain things that you're not doing that are within that box of that religion. So, relationship wise, you're on the spectrum as well. But what I will say, we must be responsible in relationships, right? We must be responsible with our actions, with dealing with people, dealing with hearts. And I do believe when it comes to like how we're designed, I do believe that we're designed in a way that we are supposed to have contact with certain people. We're supposed to have contracts with certain people.
Spiritually. Soul contracts.
Soul contracts, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes these soul contracts are not supposed to entail sex.
True.
Sometimes you're just supposed to be in relationship with a person,
Yeah.
whether it's a friendship, a work relationship,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. But I think sometimes our flesh, our lust, you see what I'm saying, takes it to a whole nother level, and we dip and dive into things that were not supposed to be a part of that. But again, it's a
Or were
choice.
they?
Sometimes they are.
Or were they?
Sometimes
Well,
they are, and sometimes they're not. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, I get that. But I'm wondering, so like let's say biology and like societal norms or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're not necessarily in line with one another. Why I
They're
say
not.
that is because like biologically or instinctively, if you see an attractive person, an
Mm.
attractive man, like it's like, or you see a man with a deep voice and
Mm-hmm.
he's sexy and he got a body and he's able to provide. Why are you moving? Because that's what happens.
Man.
Because your body is having a biological
Girl.
response to that.
Girl, I just got a whole visual. You see what I'm saying?
You get what I'm
I got
saying?
a whole
So
visual.
those things don't necessarily
Let
align.
me see. Let me say this. I got a whole visual. But the reason why I got a whole visual is because one day I went to the gas station, and honey, when I say
Oh shit.
it was sexy chocolate all over the place.
Okay.
And I just was like, I pulled up, I was like, You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, But like I did hold myself in restraint. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because
It's
that's
not,
wise.
you can you can admire somebody and not be disrespectful, right? So
Absolutely.
say if I walked into that situation and my man that God has molded for me,
Mm-hmm.
because that's my new tagline right now, the man that God has molded for me.
Mm.
One day
I like that.
I'm gonna go over the list. You see what I'm saying?
Huh.
But the list is gonna be shortened and it's gonna be protected, because I don't need somebody acting like God molded them to do these things when they come to the list and they like, up, I'm gonna do this. No, boo. We gonna need you to be you, and either you fit the mold or you
Yeah.
don't. Either God molded you or He didn't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let me say this: I wouldn't have been taken aback or whatever, because like I want my man, I want who God has molded for me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
get that.
No matter of what the outward appearance is, the man that vibes high with me.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
What are you talking about? No, I'm saying outwardly you wouldn't have been able to tell, but I was by myself.
Outwardly appearance. You don't want no bum dusty.
Oh no 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 no
Okay.
no 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 no
Let's
no
clarify what she meant.
no. The man God molded, honey. God know what he's supposed to look like. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not only that, honey, my spirit guides, my ancestors, they like, he ain't cute enough.
So
Like,
I have a question for you then.
okay,
How do we know who God has molded for us versus who, well, you say we're supposed to have soul contracts with people.
right,
You
we
know what I
are.
mean? How do
And
we
that's,
know if they're there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? Or hey, you actually don't deserve none of this energy.
well, you got to go through it to get to it. You see what I'm saying? So even sometimes you enter in a relationship with somebody and then you realize, like,
This ain't it.
you see what I'm saying? These
Yeah.
lessons that I'm having to learn, you see what I'm saying? It's like red flag, flag on the plate.
Constant red flags.
Yes, constant red flags on the plate. It's not a, oh, I made a mistake. No, boo.
So let me interject there. And it's so interesting because I think specifically as women, we do see red flags and we be like, he just need me.
No.
He just need a little loving. He just need me to be all of the wonderfulness I am. He need me in his life to just help his evolution.
But you know what? I think
that's real.
But
Because
it is.
we've all done it, I think. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
yes.
Build a man.
Oh my, build a fucking bear. Okay? Build a fucking bear.
We building niggas here. No, we're not.
I'm tired of having to be. If you didn't get, see, that's one of my signs of synchronicities, honey. That I need to. Okay, come back to that.
Come
But
back to that.
yes, but there are men that we have had past relationships with, and we have elevated them, and I think that's the nurturing side
That's what a woman
of
does.
us. You see what I'm saying? The nurturing side. You want your man to be better. You want to say, hey honey, this is not working out for you.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? Or you're complaining about not having enough income.
Yeah.
So why don't you do this?
Let
But
me
it's
help
up
you.
to the man to receive what his woman is trying to pour into him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not willing to receive it, and you just want to keep being down on yourself, you want to keep complaining, I can't help. You see what I'm saying?
So,
I can't
but I
help
think
you.
this is for us as women. How do we know the difference when to, like, hey, you know what? I'm over investing.
Well,
I'm over. I'm ignoring all the spirit guides, all the ancestors, because this is what I want to do right this moment.
you know what? I think, when you're over and investing, when you feel like it's taking from you.
When you feel drained all the time.
Like when you're feeling drained, when you just feel like, I can't do this no more.
Oh, you know what it makes me think
Like,
of?
when you done had enough.
Well, that sometimes that takes years. You know what it makes me think of is trauma bonding.
I'm tired of giving years. You see what I'm saying?
I get it, but it makes me think of trauma bond. That's what pops into my head more than anything.
Yeah.
Is sometimes we get in these relationships that are formed from trauma, and then I think as we heal and as we evolve, then we don't even vibrate on that
Come
same
on, word.
frequency anymore. And you'd be like, I don't even know how I got here.
Right. You look up, you be like, this is not meant to be.
This isn't meant to be. You like one of them.
Yeah.
Anyways, that has very little to do with the topic.
But, oh my gosh, we done went off on a whole tangent. But you know what? If
that's for somebody,
it is. It's really for somebody. You know what? And I hope you get out of that situation that is, I heard, keeping you bound.
Oh, but you know what? And this is what I think. As you heal yourself,
oh my God,
you will attract,
yes,
and be more willing to entertain,
yes,
someone who is healthier.
Yes.
And not to say you're not going to be triggered by them, because to be honest, I think when you're in relationships, they're a mirror for you. That's what I'm finding in my mirror. Just like, oh, you're a mirror for me of things that I still need to work on. Because I can go to therapy, and if I'm going to therapy and I'm single, and then I haven't tested it out, right? You know what I mean? I've been working on trust, but actually I ain't got nobody to trust. I'm working on all of these things. I think a lot of times those things get tested through relationships. So you be like, oh, all right, no, therapy's been working. But
you know what? Sometimes you do go back into being relationship and you are triggered, but guess what? Sometimes it's not a trigger. Like, sometimes you really should not be trusting that person.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that person is not trustworthy.
Absolutely.
It's up to you to say, okay, either this is a trigger or this is just really your character. You just not a good person. You just are going to continue to lie unless I actually catch you in the act and say, bam, this is what it is. This is what I found.
Oh, I have another question. Sorry. Why do you think we feel the need to catch somebody in a lie when we know deep inside, like, your intuition be telling you?
It's all about trusting yourself. And I think we as women,
or not feeling like you're crazy, like, I need this to be valid. What I feel, I need to be validated.
Yeah. I think it's really hard. It's really hard to accept, like, the bad shit.
I think it is.
It's hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so this isn't working out. So Now I have to start all over again. I have to get rid of this man, and I have to start all over
And I'm
again.
tired.
You tired.
And
You
I've
see what I'm saying?
over-invested, and he's drained me.
Over invested. But earlier this morning, I was thinking about like self-care. And I'm going to make a video that shows different types of self-care. But guess what? It's not, self-care doesn't have to be going to get your nails done or going to get a massage. I'm going to find other ways of how you can, or that I don't feel like people realize is another way of self-care.
I think I can give you an example of that. Like when I was talking to you this morning and I said I had to do a energy inventory, you know, because on the weekends I'd be like, man, I should chill, I should relax and whatnot. But that's the time when I have the highest amount of energy. So it's like, you know what? Actually, I should probably utilize that for work. And then when I have a lower energy throughout the week, then I give myself permission to take that time off.
Yeah.
That's an example of self-care.
Yeah.
You know, because you're digging deep into yourself like, oh, this is working for me, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Most definitely.
Way deeper than nails and all of those things.
Yeah, because that's surface stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially if you're used to taking care of yourself in that type of manner, it's like, okay, clearly it's not working. So what else can we do?
What else? Can we get a little deeper? Self-care can look like therapy.
Yes, most. But you know what? I think a lot of people struggle with therapy, not only because of the financial aspect, but I think also because, like, and especially in different countries.
Yeah.
It is still like, I think Americans or Black Americans are starting to accept it more. But I think in other countries, they just feel like if you go and talk to someone, then you are crazy.
And you telling all our business.
But guess what? How are you supposed to heal if you don't talk to anyone? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
that's real.
Or it can be in another manner, as opposed to just regular talk therapy. It can be done by EPT. I'm a new practitioner.
Hey. It can be done by vibrational sound therapy.
Oh, yes.
It can be done by sunbathing,
which we love.
It can be done by breathing. It can be done by all of the things.
Yes.
Spiritual baths. It can be done, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It can be done by psychedelics. Who knows?
It can. And it can. Okay, let's get back on topic because we are so off. What was you about to say?
I don't know, man. Back to what we were saying in regards to relationships.
Yes.
Relationships, relational dynamics. Do you think you can be in a polygamous or polyamorous or a consensual, non-monogamous, open relationship?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Just because, like, for a while now, like, I don't feel like I want to say no, and a situation may present itself where I may be okay with. Don't get me wrong. Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I can be very territorial, right? I do like to, like, I got you, you got me. You see what I'm saying? Like, you only with me. But I'm saying possibly because I just feel like if a certain situation presented itself that I felt safe in.
I think that's the word, safety.
And if I don't feel safe, and if I feel like games are being played and a man is trying to incorporate me into that type of situation without having a conversation with me, then that's where we have a problem. You see what I'm saying? Because what I'm not about to be doing is the games. If that's what you want to do, present it to me, and I can either say yes or no. But if the answer is no, I can tell you why it's not a yes. Like, I'm really trying to over communicate with dealing with relationships that I'm trying to engage in or that present itself. Let's say that.
Okay. Okay. So I guess what I was thinking is, I guess that is a way to participate. What I'm thinking is could you have two husbands, two lovers, two or people meant to meet different needs in your life? So you have a man that you entertain sexually, then you
Mm-hmm.
have a man that
You
you get
entertain.
him mentally.
That's what I was about to say. That's what
That
I
you
was about to say.
entertain mentally, and then you have someone that you're emotionally entwined with. Could would you could you do that? Or could you be, let's say you're in a marriage and you're building with someone and then you have amazing sexual experience with someone else?
Okay. So within transparency, like I just feel like everyone would have to be on board with that. Yes, I do believe that I would like to. Let me say this. I would like to believe that I would be able to do it, but I haven't come across any men that are okay. They're okay with doing it to you.
With
You see what I'm
sharing you.
saying? Yes, but they're not okay with sharing me with other men because I can understand why.
But why can't men understand why?
Wait a minute. I can understand why a man wouldn't want to share me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Um, because I know within myself like what I bring.
I feel you.
And with being self-aware, like I know what energy I bring to a man's life, so I could see why, but I don't see why he would want to lie to me. You see, and put me in that type of
I get why he would
situation.
want to lie to you because he wants his cake and eat it too.
No,
But
no, that's not what we doing here.
I get it, but that's why someone would
Flag on the play.
that's why someone would lie. But at the same time, I do feel, well, what I don't understand is, why men don't think that we get jealous and possessive. I think that's maybe a societal
No,
uh,
no, they know that we get jealous and possessive, but I think they know that we are so forgiving. We are so we a lot of women are so much easier to give you chances, more than one chance, as opposed to a man giving you another chance. And I'm not saying that men don't give chances.
Because they do. Like, men don't generally leave for infidelity.
They don't?
No. Men generally don't file for divorce.
But I believe if a woman, and I seen somebody in the blogs or somebody had cheated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying no names, but to me, and this is just me, I don't feel like when